Some killers were born monsters. Some became them. Carmina Mora was neither. She was simply an artist. Carmina Mora grew up in a small coastal village in southern Chile. As a child, she found beauty everywhere. She spent her days painting the breathtaking landscapes of Patagonia, towering mountains, winding rivers, and endless skies. And wherever she painted, crows gathered around her. She fed them every day, never realizing how deeply their lives would become intertwined with her own. But despite her gift, Carmina's childhood was marked by loss. Her mother suddenly disappeared, and her father blamed Carmina for her leaving. Still only a child herself, Carmina became the caretaker of her little brother, Matthias. He became the light of her life. One afternoon, Carmina and Matthias were painting together outside while their father sat nearby drinking. The telephone rang. Carmina rushed inside to answer it. She was only gone for a few moments. When she returned, Matthias was gone. She searched frantically until she noticed something floating in the nearby creek. A bright red coat. His coat. Without hesitation, she jumped into the freezing water and pulled him to the surface. But it was already too late. Matthias had drowned. Her scream echoed across the valley as a murder of crows surrounded them. When her father arrived, he didn't comfort her. He pulled Matthias's body from her arms. He never blamed himself. Carmina didn't need him to say the words. She believed it was all her fault. The guilt consumed her. She stopped painting. She withdrew from the world. Without Matthias, life no longer felt worth living. On what would have been his birthday, Carmina walked to a bridge known locally as Death Leap. She climbed over the railing and looked down at the violent river below. "See you soon, Matthias." Then the sky erupted with cause. Hundreds of crows descended around her. One landed gently on her shoulder, and then another. Soon, the railing was covered in black feathers. They simply watched her. For the first time since losing her brother, Carmina didn't feel alone. She stepped back from the edge and chose to live. Inspired by that moment, Carmina picked up a paintbrush once again. She painted the bridge, she painted the crows, she painted grief itself. Using black ink, she developed a surreal style unlike anything people had ever seen. As the years passed, color slowly returned to her work. She painted enormous murals, designed elaborate costumes, performed powerful spoken poetry. Her art forced people to confront suffering that society preferred to ignore. And wherever she performed, the crows followed. Her work inspired an entirely new artistic movement. She had finally found her voice. Her growing reputation attracted the attention of a powerful multinational organization known as the VAC label. Before accepting their commission, Carmina investigated them. She discovered disturbing connections between the company and corrupt politicians. And rather than stay silent, she accepted the commission anyway, but on her own terms. She painted a massive mural portraying the VAC label as a grim reaper harvesting Chilean families. The artwork ignited outrage across the country, and soon after, the death threats began arriving. Fearing for her safety, Carmina returned to her father's home with her closest friends. She believed they'd be safe there. She was wrong. That night, masked gunmen broke into the house. Carmina and her friends were kidnapped, and when she awoke, she was tied to a chair in the middle of the desert. Her friends lay bound nearby, and a hooded man approached carrying a silver knife. He seized her hands, recited a hymn in an unfamiliar language, and severed both of them. "How are you going to paint now?" Carmina screamed in agony. Then he forced her mouth open and cut out her tongue. "How are you going to recite poems now?" In only a few moments, everything she loved had been taken from her again. The grief was unbearable. The rage she felt was even greater, and she screamed into the empty desert. And the crows answered. Thousands poured from the darkened sky, tearing into the hooded man. For a brief moment, it seemed like someone had finally answered her cries. But then, the crows turned toward her friends. She tried to stop them, she tried to scream, but she no longer had a voice. Once again, the people she loved were dying in front of her, and once again she believed it was her fault. As darkness closed around her, a black fog swallowed everything. Carmina Mora disappeared. The entity had claimed another soul. Years later, the Observer uncovered disturbing truths about Carmina's life. She wasn't simply a gifted artist. Somehow, through her art, she perceived things from another world. Visions no ordinary person should have been able to see. Even more horrifying, a former member of the conspiracy behind the VAC label confessed that Carmina had been manipulated for years. They intercepted letters from her mother, hiding the fact that she tried to contact her daughter. They paid Carmina's father to keep a close watch on her. To them, Carmina wasn't a person. She was an experiment, a means of uncovering knowledge they couldn't reach on their own. But despite everything that they took from her hands, her voice, her life, they could never erase the truth hidden within her art.